By the British, Martin speaking. Yeah, by the British power to you. Martin speaking. By the power of technology, direct from Thailand. Nick, I know it appears that he's actually here in the room, but he's not really. He's in Thailand. Look, Nick, Phuket, word.
Hi, how you doing?
In Wales land. Yeah, it's come to visit me. How fucking epic is that? Just see if there's anyone. There's a person just turned up. I'm just coming to say hi. I'm going to basically copy this and put it on my secondary channel, on my first channel, because I can't go live on there. There we are. Oh, that's quite a good picture, Nick. Hiya, Honor. Hiya, Kirk. Yeah, we're okay, thanks. We just come in. We're just postulating about my hypothesis about history, actually. We're on a good talk about it. We've got the atlas out. Question is, I think it's a fucking brilliant question. Ice Age. Was there a Ice Age? I don't think so. I think academia bang on about it far too fucking much. And any evidence for this glaciation actually happening, you could show me right now. Could you take me on a plane and take me to a glacier that's just about to finish its operation of carving out a glacial valley? I've looked, Nick. There isn't any. They're all in flux. They're all grinding away. Plus, they tell you, right, that in Britain, that all of these fucking this ice sheets or these glaciers moved across the landscape, dropping these huge stones, because they do. They scrape on the bottom like sandpaper, and of course you carve out the landscape. Right. Well, they reckon when you read into it that in the 16 and 1700s, in this big famine of Britain operation, that they lit fires underneath them, right? Poured water on them, cracked them, smashed them up into bits, and they all disappeared along with the forests, the 90% of forests in Britain. That's a part of it. The deforestation of the Western Europe. What's going on there? We were all forest. Britain was all forest. Why? You know, not in a forest. It's there. It's a tiny little thing. The whole fucking north of Britain. We was like, you know, like it is in Germany, like the Black Forest. We were all like that year. So I don't believe. Yeah, they say the Ice Age happened. Bank of England. They say the Ice Age ended here, right? Basically, the ice sheet ended in South Wales, right here in the mountains just north of me, 2 miles away. The ice sheet ended. They say academia, and this place was all tundra. Devon, Cornwall, and the southern counties of England were like tundra and then affected. And as you go into Gaul, Iberia, and the Mediterranean, it was unaffected by that last one, 10,500 or 12,000 years ago, that they say. The alternative historians, which is bullshit. So we were wondering, it's just a bloody good question, did it happen? I'm live on air and you're going on. So I can't really not talk. That's going to be awkward. My brother's telling me to shut up. I'm not allowed to talk. Funny, isn't it? So we were wondering, like, I got this hypothesis about the entire of I suppose I don't even know, being covered by silt, mud, in the recent past, which a lot of the megaliths and these structures you see nowadays have been basically inherited by this society now, and they say that it's theirs, okay? But there is evidence of this happening, and if you Google the London Basin, just them 2 words, and the whole narrative on there, right, is about this basically this digging out of London from this silt. So academia will tell you this about this silting. They won't go into any fucking details about this silting. That New Age, New Earth, you don't follow her, do you? No, she's onto it, but she's like basically believing in the globe. I sent her a message, but she hates flat earthers because of basically a lot of YouTubers. They feel stupid if they got to backtrack on all the globe bollocks, isn't it? you know the fact she says about a lot of globe stuff, which is ridiculous, really. A woman called Sylvie, I sent a message to her. She said she was looking for people who were interested in megaliths to contact her website if they were interested. So I did, but I got an F-off tablet because I'm a flat earther. Yeah, I don't know. What did she look at my hat? It's a joke. Look at my website. So I don't know, Nick. The Caspian Sea is a clear crew in this area here to what's happened, and you can see it on Google Earth. Check it out for yourself. Go on this north coast, yeah. Check out the colour of the beaches. Check out this whole there seems to be coming down the Caspian Sea and the Dead Sea, this area of black siltiness, which is not got buildings on it, not got any developments, and I reckon it's all gone and filled up in these lakes.
Well, the question was, of course, after I've asked if there's any knowledge of an ice age or cataclysm along the equator, and so there's never been a cold time along the tropics.
What can they actually say that there's no in their geological record evidence of any cold snaps?
There is just not this story about the past of it ever being cold for thousands of years.
But you got a flood myth, yeah?
Not widespread. No.
That is interesting, because I've been working out what's happening in like Colombia and Peru and well, with Pumapunko. You know, you've seen the stones in Pumapunko, haven't you guys? You know, they're 20, 30 ton megaliths have been chucked. They reckon it's from a tsunami off a fucking lake a mile away. Oh man. So something's affected it in South America too, you know, this cataclysm, which I don't really know. It's obviously not coming from up there. So I postulate like the electric universe theory and high amounts of electrical discharge acting out on the surface of the plane. And it happens every so often. There's evidence for it all over the plane, you know, the Grand Canyon. You know, there's no way that the river Colorado can't carve that out. How could it have? Otherwise, every river in the world would have the same, wouldn't it? And it's not down to the strata of stone. That's the same as the entire part of America. So I can't work it out. Something, when they lie about the shape of the earth, I don't think we should actually, you know, say to ourselves, well, they wouldn't lie about history. Of course, all that's true. Of course, a 2,000-year timeline is true. Of course, there was the Romans. We were there. There's a Roman road outside there, under that bit of hill. And I've seen it. And it's mint. It's mint. I could take you to a Roman road now, a mile away in that direction, right on top of the hill, the 6,000-year-old settlement. And you can walk on it, and the dishes are beside it, and it's the Roman road. And it's, they say, 2,000 years old.
What are you thinking?
Well, what about entropy? What about things like, I know of a hut on a beach called Merthyr Mawr. It gets blasted by sands, and this building's been there since childhood, and now it's just stone sticking up out of the beach. So in 50 years, I've watched this thing that's made of stone, this building, disappear. So that's subject to entropy. Yeah, you've got everything else. It seems like there's you know, things. It's not because of where the area. Somebody, when I made that hypothesis the other day, remember I said, Nick, about you know, I was talking to you that day, erosion versus entropy, right? And I had a message off Arwin on my comments saying that, oh, well, it was down to the humidity of the area, blah blah blah. I'm afraid that can't be true, because when you study, like, if you look into Egypt, where to go with that bullshit, well, they reckon that around the Sphinx there's water erosion. So they reckon, yeah. So they reckon that, you know, it was wet at some stage, but apparently no ice age on the equator.
Well, could all that sand be silt?
Yeah.
Just carried down.
Yeah. Yeah, of course it could be. It would be. Look, they don't know how deserts have happened. Try look into it. If you Google, guys, right? Google how deserts happen. You won't fucking find out. It's an anomaly, and they're all growing. Did you know that? So is that from cataclysms? No. If their globe theories is to say, oh well, we had basically we had a tilt where, you know, this thing turned upside down, and they say that they can track that from magnetic records in stones, and they reckon that the ice cap would have been sat when Sahara Desert. Cough it up, Nick. It's my fault. The Sahara Desert. So I haven't got a clue. Any ideas, guys? Help me out. Yeah, Nick's visited me for an hour, which is really nice of him. Hey, Leslie. You have a desert in Maine? Really? Maine? Are you sure about that, Leslie? Because Maine's New England, isn't it? You have a desert in New England. Have you heard about this? Maine is a small county state in New England. Am I wrong? Okay. Well, I'm going to have a look about this, Leslie. You might be lying. I've been looking into Switzerland as a key to that, you know. Have you heard about this plane? Right, if you read about it, the Eurasian plane. They say it starts east of London and ends in Moscow. and it's 100% flat. So that was just that bit's flat, and sort of they reckon that Kansas is as flat as a pancake. So obviously it's not just selected bits. Yes, I love flat earthness. It's absolutely accurate when you get flat earthers. Yeah, it was a joke. Yeah, I thought so, Leslie. Yeah, it was a joke, Nick. Of course, there's no deserts in fucking. Yeah, we got a little desert here. It's a sandpit on Cardiff P. Hi, Big Dave. It's seen. Thought we'd just come and say, we're not stopping for long. We just want to say hi, so I can just show people that Nick Funky Word actually been to my house. Get it on record for Flat Earth history, if that makes sense. Okay. Oh God, I don't want to actually be, skanking away Nick's visiting time talking to you lot, because that would be selfish, wouldn't it? In extreme. So I just want to say hiya. That's all.
It's just great to catch up. And
Nick's not been in Britain for quite some time, so he's just acclimatised into because it's gone to shit the weather here. 2 weeks ago it was 28 degrees, as you've seen on a Cardiff mixer thing, and now it's nice though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to come back to this kind of
fresh, autumn air. You don't get seasons. Yeah. What do you think? The ice age kind of been. You think about it, right? What caused it? You get your over the equator, your heat because of the equinox and the sun being overhead, pretty directly over your head. So that kind of shifted. If you've never had any evidence of an ice age there, which means that having shifted for the rest of the plane also, obviously. So these circumstances for this ice age wouldn't have been.
Yeah, there is no, as far as I can tell, no mythology, no history, no stories of any kind of. It's always just been like that. Yeah,
always subtropical.
Of course, there's the whole history of Siam and how they fought different areas and stuff, and how the capital moved. But nothing related to the weather or the landscape or conditions changing. It's always been hot and tropical. Yeah. So there's just doesn't seem to be any.
I don't go with tectonic movement either. That's bullshit. Yeah, map. Have a look at the map right now of tectonic movement. You get to the mid-Pacific basin, and the lines completely don't correlate. In fact, they don't meet. They're off by thousands of miles. And I can't find. No, Morgul discovered it, not me. And I did looking myself, and you can't find any to actually couple. So there's like 2,000, miles of unexplained tectonic lines, in mid-Pacific. Can't work it out. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. I really don't. I think these jagged chasms are cuts in the Earth's surface, like you find in the Avon Gorge in England, where Cheddar Caves are. This thing's they try to say it's an extinct fault, all right, but it's not indigenous to Earth because it's that part of the world. So, what is it? And there's no river going through it either. Well, I think it's an electrical arcing. I know you think, well, that's massive. How could anything of that power? No. Yeah, they can do that. That could do that. That much electrical energy it'll be in. Well, imagine what a thunderbolt can do. The energy of one thunderbolt. Imagine that times a trillion. And it just maybe, I don't know. I'm just going, there's not many theories out there to think about. It's only electric universe. Electric universe hypothesis to go with. I can't think of any others unless you just invent your own new hypothesis. Don't go with anything they do. I don't go with glacial deposit anymore. I've got good reasons for that. Don't go with an ice age because basically they do it. Like alternative academia, basically Graham Hancock, because he's had like about 500 fucking books published by them, so can't really trust him. So I don't believe that. I don't believe Ice Age. Anything that they permeate. I just showing Nick, right, guys? I've got a 100-year-old history book there. They're teaching exactly the same 100 years ago. All right, well, we just went into the age of archaeology. They just had 100 years of digs and discovery. What? And they never added anything to the historical record. In 100 years, still Thomas the Becket, still Canterbury Cathedral, still Martin Luther, still all the same story. Yeah, decade, century, well, only since I can't find any. You go back to 1700s, the history books are shit. They're completely different. You can't find them. You had to look. Early history books. And it's just, they're contrived. They give you, Well, the War of the Roses are not covered in anything I can find early, and that was after this reset date of 1300 that I'm postulating, and I believe that that was all bullshit. The 100 Years' War, bullshit. There's no evidence for any of this happening at all. Only from them. They could take me to a church where they got a stone where somebody would have died, and it would have been hacked into that stone 1190 or something like that. And that's your proof, is it? That you couldn't have just knocked that up like a week ago last Sunday, could you? Because I could have. I can carve stone. I can put names in stone. No, man. It's big and it's deep and it's contrived. So that's what I'm going to do. Bust history. Try and get well known for like turning over the historical record. Not that's going to happen. Do you see how the Globe Nazis treat me in the museum? Taking photographs of fucking dinosaur chicken bones. Guys, dinosaurs, really, I can't believe. I don't know. Did you ever believe them, really? Or did you have questions with them? Because I did. I didn't 100% buy into that. The dinosaurs, I didn't. I know I didn't. Because I thought to myself, what would be the need? Why would they be the only things here for 150 million years, you know, roaming around, apparently eating crap, bumping into one another and doing nothing? What would be the point of a reality like that? Of a plane full of brainless fucking lizards? You know, but they'll say, oh no, some of them were actually educated. They had really advanced brains. Some of them wore spectacles and read the arts, you know. But dinosaurs, how would you know? I've heard that. That's out there. The dinosaurs were actually not out there, you know. They don't know what colour they were, they don't know what skin they were, because they never got one. I look for one. Nothing. And they were chicken bones, unless that was the smallest dinosaur in history. But they did say it was part of a raptor type creature, which is basically a big chicken. Okay? That's as believable as a dodo. Oh, I said it, didn't I? Dodo? No, man. I'll have Pete on my channel now. Well, Dodo, Pete's convinced that's the key to it all, and they're hiding the real azimuth or equidistance in the shape of the dodo. Oh, yes. It's probably very true. Oh, very true. But models, Nick, do you go with models? Do you think that's important to humanity that we get this comfort model to hold on to? Like, remember that? Oh, we live on there. Remember that? That fucking crap. Remember that? And you're not going to smash it up and keep it for experiments. What about now? Because, you know, some people are trying to work on a closed model. That's worse than a fucking ball.
What's a model, really?
What's a model?
You know, you can have a model car and you can make it work just like a real big car. That's a model because...
Yeah, you can have a massive engine and bonnet.
Right. You know, you can actually make the model work how it works in reality. So no one's got a model.
In a minute, mother. Ooh, inventions.
Yeah, the heliocentric model is just an illustration of a three-dimensional illustration of the passing of time.
Wow.
So
yeah,
that's
I've been talking about it a lot lately. Why is this time coming up a lot? Why is it on this?
Because all the models are based on time because of what we see in the sky.
Yeah, well, the fact Earth is a clock motion anyway, as far as I can see.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be moving; it can be motionless. But yeah, that's all we know. That's all we can ever know.
Time's been handed to us as a construct.
Well, it has to be there for us to physically exist.
Well, we don't experience time, though. We only experience the now. We never experience the past. No. It doesn't exist. We never experience the future.
Tomorrow
never comes. We're always stuck in this now moment. And they've introduced this forward arrow of time where we're ever going forward. Now, I can't help thinking that that's, you know, who give us the forward arrow of time?
That's within the whole culture and mindset of the English language.
What if that is just them doing the predictive programming bullshit again, and there's no forward arrow of time? In fact, the thing is, like, eternity, right, is really close by. It's there, right? Change your sync a little bit, you'd be able to interpret. That's devoid of time. That place you go, they don't do time. That eternal battle's been going on there forever, and they're devoid of it. And I can't help thinking that this construct of time that they've introduced, this abstract time, if you think about it, really think about it, Nick, there isn't such thing, really. No, the day and night happens, but how can you convert a day and night into a day and into a time? Well, that's what they've done. But the clock you see here, introduced in the 1850s by the British railway system for the world. Because basically you left London in a different time in Reading, and then in one day they set all clocks, GMT, whole world goes by. Yeah, so what happened before then? What happens in the 1500s? What were they working on them on their timepieces? Where did they set it? You know about that?
Well, GMT was a very politically intense issue, globally political intense issue, right? I mean, it was all to do with trade. Where do you have the start line? Because again, yeah, the whole thing is all about having a start and a finish, where the opposite is true, where there is no start and finish. It's the now. Yeah, that's all there is.
Oh, there ever will be.
Sure, we age. You know, but wherever you are,
I'm thinking that could be slowed as well, Nick. You know, you see a lot of people in like Thailand. I bet you see a lot of centurions. Do you? I bet they look healthy.
Yeah.
So is it just predictive programming? They're telling you when they're giving you your birthday and your candle, and you're blowing them candles out, convinced you're getting a year older. Are you doing that to yourself, where you're pushing yourself into an old age? Can it be reversed?
But the thing is, yeah, you ask an old Thai person, you know, we have these silly questions. How old are you? How long have you been married? And they can't tell you because they don't count them.
And they couldn't tell you their age either. Some of them are so over 100, they don't even know anymore.
My grandmother-in-law is well over 100.
Really?
Yeah.
Nathan Oakley's grandmother's 103 now or something, so that was But you know, they lead us to think that people were dying in droves in the 1800s, early.
Very healthy.
Obviously the lifestyle wasn't that good, but I don't know, Nick. You look at the photographs of Victoriana, everything looks like quality cool shit to me.
They were very into they were very proud of the achievements they were making, right?
A lot of attention to detail with the Victorians. You know,
damn
right.
And with an artistic flair. You know, the Renaissance was
not
only art, but it was working out ways maybe to have a much more harmonious and happy life.
Yeah, this is the key to the Renaissance period, Nick, with the resetting, the history, the heliocentric model.
The Renaissance art
comes in at this time.
Mathematics as well.
Well, sacred geometry has always been there in art. You know, I could show you a cave painting where sacred geometry is used in it, but they used it to the extent that they knew that what it would do to the human psyche, because symbols and shapes and basically sacred geometry work a certain way with the psyche, doesn't it? They understand this. We don't, because we're not told about it, but they certainly know.
Well, I suppose the geometry has been, that's the thing. You can do anything you want with geometry because you've got your, by dividing it up into 12s, 60s, whatever. It's the easiest thing to work with. I mean, it has its beauty.
That's 420.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear it.
That's the same harmonic as the plane, as Earth gives off. The same vibration. 420. Sweet, isn't it? Goes for a while. You can go like that around and it sings. Yeah, it's a singing bowl. But pisses my mother off. She's not very Buddhist like myself. I'm not Buddhist, I don't do religion. I just like got my spiritual sort of cleansing process, and I gotta go through it. Otherwise, I feel all unspiritual and dirty.
I think Buddhism is more about the science of the mind.
I love Buddhism for the simple reason that they say, like, you know, God will say, well, yeah, of course I know everything about everything. Of course I know, but I wouldn't be able to explain to you because it would take every book in every library of the world and an eternity to explain it to you, and you're not going to be able to do that. Plus, you wouldn't understand it. Anyway, the reasons you won't understand, because I'm God. How dare you presume that you understand my mind, which science will do. Even Stephen Hawking dared to say the mind of God, didn't he? Looking into the mind of God. I think it's a fucking nerve. Is that? No, we're right. No, they're mine. I bought them. Leave go, Carol. We're reintroducing Nick to British food because he's been away from Blighty. So, juicy fruit. I do not endorse this product. They're now called Starburst because opal fruits make your mouth water. They renamed them. I do not endorse that product. I'm having a strawberry one. Bless you.
Yeah.
Childhood.
Yeah.
That's why I buy some there. For what is it? Nostalgia, though.
Sorry.
Nostalgia. It's weird.
We all look good, don't we?
Yeah, but is it good for us? Because I can sit and think about my skinhead days or my days at sea, and it actually makes me feel really sad and really upset inside because I'm not doing it now, and how fucking cool it was. But I am a flat earther, so that's sort of yeah. Yeah, but it makes you sort of think, Christ, the way I used to live my life, how incredible it was, different fucking 3 days, every other day in a different country, and can't tell you what my life was.
Yeah, then you can inspire others to do it.
I just love meeting people from around the world, just talking to people on a train, man. Some of my best memories are just conversations on trains, Yeah. Isn't it, man?
Yeah, I met someone at the Stones yesterday who was just very nice, and yeah.
Nick went to what was it?
Avebury.
Stone Circle, very famous in Britain.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to spoil it. I want to see the evidence he's got on for fuckery. Honestly, it's fucking unbelievable. Right, I'm not going to stay around for long because basically it's rude in here. I'm just going to see me not Lula. Not that he would mind. Hi, Bill.
Black pudding for Nick.
Happy done. Black pudding.
Maybe.
Don't tell the flat earthers about black pudding, Bill. Don't tell them what's in it, brother. All right. I love a bit of black pudding with red sauce on. All right, we'll tell you. Black pudding is actually clotted pig's blood, okay? Angry gay dinosaur. No, angry gay dinosaur. I'm an angry gay dinosaur. What am I? Are you an angry gay dinosaur? Knew it. God, that was an easy game. Hiya, Leon. All right, Hev, darling. I read the comment last night. You were on there. Sky Bright. Sky.
Yeah, we've communicated. Yeah, and I apologise for not sending pictures of the sun through as I did promise.
You know what? He done this thing when he got really high. Well, I think it was about 2,000 foot. In the local like this, really high. More, about 5,000, I think. And you basically, as he moved away, and he got up higher, and as he got up higher, it came back up again, like double sunset.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he went. It was fucking sweet.
2,000 feet in the microlight.
More. How many feet did you do, Brian? About 5,000 on that trip, wasn't it? It's Atheist Rex, silly. Well, I really did sort of guess that, Rex. Got certain names that you use. It doesn't take a genius to work it out, and they're always like that sort of thing as well. It's your mind. You can't help it. Don't worry, you'll get better. Oh, you can show.
Sorry.
Would it come out that thing you done?
Yeah, I was gonna maybe just show the.
That'd be wicked. I'm not gonna spoil it. You can tell them about what shit up work you think you've done for the flat earthers. Honestly, guys.
Well, I took the opportunity to do a couple of experiments on the way from Phuket, stopping off in Dubai to London Heathrow. Used my phone and a Spirit Level app.
Could we know because it's jetting, isn't it?
So you'll see a video of that with me showing how it's calibrated on a slope and then calibrated on the level ground at the airport and left like that until Dubai, and the ground is measured again, and then in Heathrow when I arrived. So from around the equator up to London, it appears to be perfectly level.
That's incredible, though. You've got the evidence right there in your hand. Look at this, guys. Should be able to, Nick.
It's going to be difficult to see. Oh, it's too bright, probably.
Oh, there you are. Nothing more.
Yeah. It's basically looking out the plane window, putting the camera up and down, and seeing the horizon rise and lower with the eye level of the camera. So you'll see the horizon disappear up above the window and then go back down below the window as the camera does the same. So just a quick proof that the horizon does always remain at eye level. And that was at 40,000 feet.
Shit up, Nick.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a couple of good things. Can't wait to see them up and on your post.
Yeah, you can see that they have cameras on that you can look at on the seats. So they show a camera view from the tail.
And they use fisheye lenses, obviously, to corner people in a plane. Yes.
You know, it still looks flat though, the horizon, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, it was good to do that. Take the opportunity to do that. Yeah. So I show that the app on the phone doesn't use gravity at all. It uses what you tell it is level and calibrate it. Any slope.
He did a copy. You see how he done it. Yeah, he does it a couple of times just to show you it's working right. Like, and it is working right. I got the same app. It is shit off.
Turn the phone off, turn it back on, and it remembers the level you set it at. It's nothing to do with gravity.
Nothing.
It's just so.
When we got you doing it, Nick, it makes all the fucking difference. I'm telling you. I can't wait to get that up. Everyone's going to be talking about that.
Well, to be honest, I wasn't expecting anything different. We all know, but it's obviously we're forced into these positions to provide
the evidence. Yeah. When you got people like Uncle Rex in chat.
So go and do the experiments yourself. Find out for yourself, because there's no bullshit here. There's no trickery. It's just having the balls to look at what it is.
Oh, it's Mark and Athena there. I did tell Athena and all the gang that you was earlier on. Mark, Raised by Gypsies, and Gav. Hiya, Gav. You been, bro? That's Gav. Active after party. He's from Stop.
I never know how to say it. Is it UK dinner?
I never know. Oh, I say Athena.
Athena. Yeah. Okay. Well,
I'm a spiritual leader. I see her most days anyway. She's absolutely epic. She's Athena. With my gang. And Rebecca, met her a couple of times. Yeah. Up in mixers. Hi, Rebecca. Good to see you, love. Thanks for coming, popping by. Just showing off the fact that I got a Nick Funky word in my house. Oh, sorry. P2. Look, Dina. Oh, is it? Well, I'm closest. Look, Dina. I says it right. Look, Dina.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dina. I was closest. Oh, oops. Ook Dina. Yeah, we knew that. Not look, Dina. Yeah, I am Nick. Mac, that is. He's in, I think he's Minnesota. He's been a quite some time. Yeah, cool guy. Yola. And Mary there lives about 5 minutes away. Yeah, she's up the road. Yeah, she comes down now and again.
There are a few flat earthers in Phuket. And in other parts. He's in either Bangkok or North. I'm not sure where.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, but on the plane I took the opportunity to talk to some of the cabin crew.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you say?
I just told them what I was doing. I said, "Have a look,"
Did they understand?
Yeah, one guy came back he was curious, he came back with the usual arguments, and I said, yeah, that's what you see all the time. You see the globe all the time, but have a look outside, because no one looks out the side of the window. There's so much entertainment on the aircraft. No one looks outside. You're engrossed in the movies.
Yeah,
and they're working.
Enough entertainment, attractive looking cabin crew, a movie, bullshit. Yeah. Curved windows. Something to eat. That takes up an hour, doesn't it?
Yeah, you constantly wait for something to eat.
Or the drinks tray if you're that way inclined. Jack Daniels.
Yeah, it was at least something for one of those guys to think about. And it was one of the. Yeah.
I have a whiskey on a plane.
Yeah.
Well, I calm my nerves. I don't drink, but I do feel nervous on planes.
Me too.
They
I
crash.
hate
Well, they crash, don't they? They're not likely to crash with me on, really. So I obviously think when they're going to come, I'll go on there. If it's going to crash, it's going to be with me.
But when you see how many people they fit onto those aircraft, I mean, hundreds of people onto these.
300, 400.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you look at how many people are in the boarding lounge, and you just, when you're in the plane, you can't, it doesn't seem like that many, but
It is.
you know, you look at how many people, and their luggage, you know, it's like.
Tons and tons of rubbish and fucking, Jesus, yeah.
You know,
Pets. Oh, no, you don't do that.
it's quite incredible, really, and it's a shame that people automatically think that flat earthers have no respect or appreciation for technological advancements. That's the thing. Of course, we do. You know.
You appreciate man's fucking, you know, feats. It's just when they're used against us is what pisses me off.
No matter what technological advancements we make, the only way we ever really ensure our survival with food all the time is to work with nature, like they have done for millennia with the cattle in the fields, because you use cattle to plow the fields, they provide the fertilizer, and everything just rotates. You're guaranteed a harvest, and obviously unless you get some adverse weather conditions, what have you. Yeah, as soon as you switch to motorized ways of doing it, then you become dependent on the chemicals that are missing from using the buffalo, etc. And then you become involved in the whole money thing. You've got to buy the petrol, so it becomes a vicious cycle of debt. Whereas if you're just doing it the way nature intended, which will give you plenty, more than enough, an abundance of
what you need.
Food. Yeah, I mean, you know, one field will provide for many families for a year, a couple of times a year. So, you know, these technological advances are very convenient, but not really, because you end up in a cycle of debt and basically enslavement.
Yeah, I mean, you can't tell that thing, but like with waterlogged buffaloes, like you say, and surely you just like, that's not going to recover.
That's it.
That's just killing that cycle of.
Exactly, you cut it dead, because then
that's bad.
You don't get the fertilizer. It's not done in the natural way, so you destroy the field, and then you have to artificially maintain it for the rest of its days.
How many of us could actually grow food if we wanted to? Well, I can.
Well, you don't need much.
Oh.
You just need nature. You can't replace nature.
No, man. Yeah. And if it gets cold, you can't grow anything. Unless you've got lights and electric, of course, and grow what you want then. There's always a way to get by. But I think people should like look after themselves and stash a little bit for themselves in the future.
I'm getting a question. Did Nick experience culture shock upon leaving Thailand? I'm seeing the TV. We don't have TV there. There's never been, and it's just mental to see going on. All these loan schemes, and you're just being constantly peppered with
insurance, life insurance if you're 50.
This fear-based agenda.
It is. You're going to die. Leave all your money to your family. They're constant. Every other advert telling you're going to die.
Yeah, but you see that you don't, not only the TV with Denka, it permeates throughout the whole culture. Everyone's afraid of doing this or that in case. What if? So there's this constant paranoia that if you do something that you think you need to do, there's going to be some repercussions or whatever. There's just this constant negativity of. It's difficult to say. You know, everyone feels very righteous about their own thing. You know, some of my relatives, you know, they look at where I come from or as being backward or something, but they have no real idea.
No.
So we're fed, you know, and you can see what happens is people are fed stuff in the media, on the TV. It's all very coordinated. You know, even online, on the news, mainstream media. So yeah, there's some culture shock there. You know, and you know,
pushed in your face from the off, and you notice the difference.
Yeah, because it's all about.
It is.
Yeah, it's all about the unfortunate situation you're in, and here's a way to solve that problem.
And put yourself in more shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you can't afford it, fucking finance it.
oh, big chippy.
Obviously.
Yeah.
We've been having British food and reminiscing all British things. But it must be weird. You know, 2 days ago in Southeast Asia, and in Old Blighty, autumn, a little bit cold but nice.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's very, very nice to come here. Usually I'm just sweating away by now, and yeah, it's lovely. You know, but it's how can I explain it? Well, I was here 2 years ago, and that was the first time in 15 years.
Wow.
So that was more of a culture shock that time. So now I kind of gotten used to that, but it's I'm so pleased that I was able to come and meet Martin, you know, and because, like I said, you know, there are most people are just still connected to the matrix, so they are impossible to
communicate with. I got the same problem, Nick. My whole life, everyone is except flat earthers. I am boned for communication.
I got very lonely last time I came back, but this time it's been very nice to know. And there's a few of you out there who knew I was coming back and, you know, offered me accommodation and stuff. So that's really, really nice. And that's what it's all about. It's just like,
yeah, definitely.
Just yeah. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Gina experienced a cultural shock when she left her hermit life to go to a little town down the hill. Oh, that sounds nice though. Nicer place anyway. Really nice. I like it.
What's the culture? Yeah, it's interesting. Cultural shock. It's not necessarily about the geography, is it? It's about it's about the mindsets of people in a particular community that have a way of collectively thinking.
They're not as selfish in some of they are in Britain, not surely, because they struggle and.
Yeah, but then you've demonstrated a similar kind of unselfishness.
Yeah, but I am an exception. Most people are not like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose.
Not.
Then...
I don't know. Maybe what do you reckon, man? Wales, bit more welcoming in Wales than.
I'm crossing the Severn Bridge here, and even the lady at the toll booth is nice. Hello, good morning, sir.
So yeah, and they're not just doing it because they're just being false. Yeah, they just that's the way they are.
People enjoy interaction.
We do well.
Yeah,
we love meeting people and people coming to our land and.
So in general, really, but I think we're given this fear about strangers or people looking a bit different that kind of sense of community is all gone. But if you go somewhere in Thailand and you meet a stranger, the first question is, have you eaten yet? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they want to know. It doesn't matter who you are, but have you eaten yet?
Well, I do that.
Yeah, right. And Martin, you fed me today. I really appreciate that. It's lovely. Yeah. Another thing is, so have you eaten? That's just the question that they greet you with. It doesn't matter who you are. Yeah. So
first thought here in this area is they'll think, what's in it for me? What can I get? And what can I fuck this person over for? That's quite a big percentage of this area. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it's conditioning. I don't blame them, Nick. It's because the government says what they've done is they've made these things called sanctions. Whereas, if you're 10 minutes late to sign on, they sanction you and you can spend 6 months without a penny to live on. And they're doing it to everyone. So there's whole sections of society living on nothing, going to the food bank, living on shit all. Masses of them. So they're willing to do practically anything they can to get by. And unfortunately, there's not that much open to them, so they'll do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because things like food banks are not necessary in Thailand because everyone does their bit to share, and so it all works out.
And if you've got a skill, you can use that, can't you? Yeah. Like shoe fixing.
I've seen a motorcycle mechanic with no arms doing everything with his feet. Yeah, using spanners, tying up nuts and bolts, a motorcycle, changing tires with his feet. Yeah.
And managed fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't have any arms, but that's the kind of they just, okay, this is what I got, get on with it. I'm not gonna, you're not gonna hang around for social, even, I mean, social security and things like that is obviously a good and thing that people need, but
it makes people lazy.
Yeah, can do if you're,
Yeah, you become complacent. You're just happy to get that what you think is owed to you, even though you put nothing in. Sit back and get the state giving you an easy life. Plenty, it's over. That's over. That way of thinking is over.
The state either, does it?
No,
they don't care.
No, they don't care.
It's like you're dependent on that.
It's not even their money, Nick. It's just something they had off Europe as a budget, and they have to give it out because it's part of it. And they make enough money on it anyway.
So, charity. I mean, ultimately, charity always exists with the human, with the individual. So that can never change.
No.
To actually assume or believe that it's the government's responsibility.
It ain't.
So
people don't need the government; they need one another.
Yes.
And they've relied on the government for so long, and the government being our enemy and not realising it, or not wanting to, or realising it and ignoring it, just living in ignorance. It's not going to help. Ignorance to me is the greatest sin of all. Well, think about it.
Yeah. We are so easily distracted, and that's what we realise, isn't it? If we actually look in a bit.
Not so much now. Not since the Flat Earth Awakening.
Sure.
I am looking in. I am looking inwards because I believe what they, when they say, not to go on about religion, but the kingdom of God is within. I believe that's a reality. It's one way of explaining it. I believe that my experience is definitely real. It's a divine, and there's no doubt about it. I know the creator's here, Nick. I know it's. I see it. I feel it surging through my body. Something's happening. I've been affected by charm. Thing called charm. You know that? I get bliss all the time. And I touch the trails of eternity, and I've touched it. It's a bit come back with me.
Once you tap it, that's it. You create a connection.
You create a connection. It comes back with you. And I'm not willing to shit on that for anything in creation, and that's why I don't take people bossing me around. In my mind, Nick, I think, well, I know best for myself. I know best for everyone. That's just being love. You can't really go wrong. I think sick of people saying it's a cliche. It's not a fucking cliche to be a good person. How the fuck is it be cliche to be a good human being and loving to your fellow man? I can't see that. Oh, why? So just be a better person if I just go around being selfish and fucking everyone over? No, I'm not playing that game.
Well, you can if you want. But,
no, I decided as a kid.
Right.
I thought if I got to walk over everyone to get on in this world, well then I won't bother getting on in this world. And I actually did that. I didn't bother.
Yeah, but that's a choice anyone can make, I suppose, And so the whole idea of karma is not something that necessarily happens to you in another life. It happens to you in this life. So
what about that?
Yeah.
2 months ago, I sat in the chair, and all I was concerned about is why I had the karma blow, because I basically knocked myself out on the door. I was sitting there. That's all I was concerned about. Is why what have I done? Trying to pinpoint. What I did wrong to get the karma blast. Didn't get to it. Hey, Patricia's saying hiya.
Oh, hi.
Hiya, Paula. Hey, darling. That's Paula. Psychedelic. Bad Christian, but she was knowledge scavenger. Yeah. And that's Issa Mahalski.
Yeah, hi, man.
Yeah, I got Issa.
Yeah,
I said I'm going to have Nick in the house, didn't I? How lucky am I, brother? I know. It's real.
Yeah.
Look. Isn't it weird? I know. It is weird because I've seen flat earthers in the room together and thought, that's weird, man. No, it's just because you're seeing them in different pictures on Hangouts, aren't you? And they're miles apart. Issa always does flames.
Yeah.
See, if I was Issa, I'd take my camera out and I'd go and bust all of their stuff in New York. He's right placed for it all, man. He does curve shots. He got good cameras and that. But I'd go and photograph it all. That's just me.
There's a limit. We know.
There is a limit. A lot of us, he's been around a long while now, Issa. Now, when you sort of get through a stage where you don't feel inside you need to prove it to anybody anymore, because your psyche's at rest. The argument's over. All right, it's not a ball. What is it? Don't know. That's part of my life now. There's no way I'm, not going to get to any answers. I know that I will.
On the path,
Just got to keep on the path. Yeah. Answers are coming. I know a damn sight more than I did 2 years ago, guys. That's for definite. I didn't know history was a scam for definite. Now I do. And his sense of model scam, the hiding of what we are. That's a biggie with me. The fact that, we can basically create our own reality here, and they told us we weren't that at all. And they're telling us, basically consciousness is basically electrical impulses, fucking byproduct of mental processes. Oh, is it? Oh, all right then. Academia is shit. I'm reading a book there, Nick. See that book there? Pass that over. Sweet, this is, no, man.
This one,
yeah, man.
What the world is.
Science versus spirituality, and it's the discussion that's going on between science and spirituality. They have touched yours, but that was with a double split experiment. The measurement problem sends these to academia running scared, because it just shows you that that all of reality is just for us. They can't escape it. It's a definite reality. You can see that experiment replicated anywhere on the earth. You can do it yourself with a piece of cards in a still water, in a bath. With a piece of card, drop a pebble in. The interference pattern will still show. So you can do this experiment yourself, which shows you the wave pattern collapsing. But as for their science with photonics and explaining light as this almost massless packet of energy, I'm not buying any of this anymore. I am really not. I've dug into it, and it's always brick walls, and I can't fucking get to an answer. I've discussed this with a friend of mine, Steve, who died recently. How he explained it is, well, look, Matt, you're in a dark room, aren't you? And it's pitch black, there's no light. And you light a candle, and all the lights, it's just instantly the darkness disappears, doesn't it? So the darkness is always there. So I say, well, what is the light then? Well, we don't know. But it bounces. Well, how we interpret it is it's bouncing off of these collapsed energy fields and bouncing back, and then we sort of see it as a light. But I believe it's there anyway, Nick. I don't believe that the light is coming from the sun exactly, because in the Bible it says in the first there was let there be light, then there was the sun and the moon. So I think the light was there first, and there seems to be like a residue light in the air, even when the moon's not out. There's some light there, so I believe there's light here other than the sun.
It's very strange actually coming here and at home in Phuket. The sun, it gets dark within 15 to 20 minutes every day, all year round. Yeah, so the cicadas start up at precisely the right moment.
What noise do they make?
Yeah, they're kind of like crickets.
Oh, then cricket ones. Yeah. I know them.
Yeah, shrill. They all come in at different times as dusk progresses. But here, I can't tell what time of night it is because it's like it's 7 o'clock now and it's super dark. It's weird because it's still, So I don't know what that says about the shape of the Earth or the Sun, but it's definitely something very, very different with what a few thousand miles difference across the geography.
It's crazy in this day and age. We can just jump on a plane and go anywhere on a plane. Well, not anywhere actually. That's wrong, isn't it? Everything seems to be just in the centre. Get on the outskirts. Yeah. It's a bit sketchy up towards the edges. So you went from Thailand off in Dubai.
Yeah.
Have a look at this on Exhibition, shall we? Just out of interest a second. That's not Exhibition. That is good, that book, Nick.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. You know that, don't you? Yeah, that's going to get Lawrence Wright on to me later. Okay then, so I'm going to go from. Look at. I'm going to go. Yeah, it's quite there, isn't it? Oh, so. Right there, so. So there's Thailand. So which is the island? It's that one, isn't it? Yeah, it's there, right? Okay, so it's there. So.
Up to Dubai.
That's a straight line.
And then up to the UK.
So it's the right angle.
Well, it was with Emirates Airlines, so they obviously needed to stop in Dubai. Then switch planes.
Yeah, so that's what it looks like on our projection.
Well, with a longer duration than going straight from Bangkok to the UK.
There's not much in it. Pretty much the same.
Yeah, I came over India. We came over most of the ocean.
Most of the ocean?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not quite for us, shall we? Hang on. Oh, so you come across the Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal.
Yeah, came all across, and we came up, kind of, yeah, that way. So.
Round in Dubai.
Yeah.
So most of it was Indian Ocean there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And not mainland Europe at all, out the window. I noticed when you took that rising shot, there was land below.
There was what?
Land below.
Yeah. I honestly can't remember where I was at the time. I was on the second leg of the flight, so that was between Dubai and the UK.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah. So yeah, we've already talked about that. But,
hello. Hi, Tabby. I met Tabby.
Yeah.
I met a lot of these people, in fact.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about the flat earth. You don't get that in any other online community where, basically the people get together and get to meet.
Yeah.
They don't. Not in any other format. Not gaming, not any other trooper community. I've never seen it. Not that I study them.
Well, yeah, just interesting going to the Stones yesterday. I met someone who was a bit of a free spirit, but they felt drawn to the Stones, but they
one of them people that were all joined hands.
Well, I didn't talk to those people, but there was another couple of ladies there, and they were okay. Cheers. But their thing was aliens. You know,
they're all aliens to do with that, with the Stones.
I just asked about it. But these people, there were people doing joining hands, doing seances and things around these stones, or linking hands and touching two stones. And to me, that's a bit strange, because do you really know what you're effectively worshipping? Maybe maybe there is some energy there. I don't know. Maybe it was.
You're taking the chances, really, aren't you?
Well, yeah.
Sure, a portal to unleash some evil entity.
But looking at them with the idea from Wise Up, who's going on about just concrete and rebars. I'm looking for these holes, and I find holes in all these stones.
Beautiful footage. I can't wait for that to be up. But it is. It's 100% proof that this stuff is fakery. It is. And this myth of this megalithic era, and I think it's plain white. I think they've all been in on it.
It's all on a mound. It's got a moat around it, so it makes sense. It was just a building.
I was showing Nick footage earlier. I saw on a video. Hi, Keith. That I watched earlier, and they showed you Roman aqueducts, Roman viaducts in South America, and they say they're colonial from 1600s, or from Cortez's people. But Cortez was busy wiping out millions of people. I don't think he would have had time for large engineering projects, if the truth be known. Think about it. I didn't take that number of people. No, he didn't. He had 60 ships. So no, that's bullshit. He never did that. No, they're from an earlier time. I'm going to make coffee now. Right, guys, I'm going to leave you to it, because basically I don't want to keep Nick just talking to you people, because it'd be rude, and we're going to just chill out for a bit, all right? Is that fine?
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. It's been awesome to see you. Nick's in my house. Yay! Flat Earthers together. How awesome is that, guys? I'll upload this and I'll put it on my Flat Earth British channel. You should be able to see this on there as well. Okay, so it's been Flat Earth British and Nick Funk It Words. Two Flat Earthers chewing the fat on a wet British. Well, it's not actually wet, is it?
No, it's lovely.
Oh, in fact, I'm going to take some photographs. Looks nice up there. I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.